Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. I've just been asked to make a wand for a young wizard, a 4.5-year-old wizard, and I have 2 hours in which to do it, so I've got to get on with this. I've got a branch of olive here. I want something which has a bit of colour to it. I'm not going to be doing any carving on this because I don't have time. So I'm going to be cutting up a length of about 10 inches, a foot, something like that. I'll cut 2 lengths, so I've got something to play with, just checking, see if there's any colour. So I'll do that one. It's got a bit of a bend in it, which isn't so good, so I'll go to the other end. Oh, this has also got a bend. So I have a bit of colour, probably easier to see it at the other end. The pith is pretty high up. This doesn't look as though it's going to split up too much, which is nice, but I really want to try and avoid the pith, so I'm going to cut the end off this, partly so I can see where the pith is, partly to square it up. Right, so now I want to try and cut along the line of the pith, which is there to there. Now, if I've got it badly wrong, I can adjust for that on the lathe. The colour. And I can see little splits at that end, that's alright. And I just want to be clear of the pith so that there's it's less likely to split later. So teeny little, I need a little flat area. Just so it's safer when I cut a little board. So what I'm going to do here is to cut a wedge shape. I need something wide enough for a handle at one end. And then that is the sound of a breaking bandsaw blade. So here we are back with a new blade about 10 minutes later. The old blade had been resharpened about 4 times and I was expecting it to break at some stage fairly soon, just not on camera. So carry on where we left off. So I just cut the flat side so that the not that flat actually, looks a bit wobbly. I'll do it with a nice fresh blade. Right. So that surface is at right angles to that. This is going to be the handle end, the thicker end, and just need to taper one end off. So this wand is going to be rather like a spatula, but with a forked end, which I'll talk about a bit later. Don't need any of the bark. That end is more or less square enough for this. So here's my tapered blank. This end is going to be the handle, and this end is much thinner, as you can see. Now, as a toy, a wand is going to be waved around a lot and pointed at things, and you really don't want it small enough that it easily goes into an eye, like a pointed stick. So this is going to be quite wide but thin, and in order to prevent it splitting, I've drilled a small hole on the end to accept the spike in the middle of the spur drive. It's a 20mm spur drive, 3/4 of an inch, and that will go in there, and the teeth will, on the spurs on the drive will basically come in onto the end grain, all right. And then at the other end, I've already drilled a little hole found center there. So that is that. Now I can shape this bit, but mostly I can do that off the lathe. This is going to end up with, because there's a hole to about there to accommodate the cone and the drive, that's going to get cut out. So this wand will have a kind of two heads, and we'll shape that a bit later. A little bit of handwork to do there. So I'm going to do all this with a skew chisel. These kind of things are very good skew chisel exercise. 1-inch skew chisel, 25mm. Running at 1800, a little bit faster. This timber is still pretty green. It was cut about 6 weeks ago. And for that reason it was important to cut it clear of the heartwood, which is likely to split. Come up here and get the paddle bit done. Bit of colour coming through, which is nice. Just see what's happening there. So this can slim down quite a bit. Long point down as I go off the other end, just because that's more convenient for me than going that way. Long point up this way, because that's just downright awkward and I don't change hands. I don't change hands. I find turning quite difficult enough being right-handed. I can hear that's running smooth all the way there. One point down. I think wands are expected to have lumps and knobs and things on. This has got to fit a 4-year-old hand, so probably come up a bit in speed. Smaller diameter. Long point down to cut across the end grain. Little hole on the end. I can go all the way to the center, and that will be fine. Just roll the corner of the tool in. Clean up the bottom of the groove with the long point. What else do I want with this? Give it a bit of shape. It's a 4-year-old hand, which is going to be considerably shorter than mine, narrower. That to there, and then we'll put something else in here. Short corner. It'll be easier for me doing it up here. I don't do very much centre work. Slight bump there. And I'll put a I'll curve that over. Might look more impressive as a magical stick. Right, so that's come out nicely, and it's smooth enough, really doesn't need sanding. Just going to leave it absolutely plain. And right, so that now just needs finishing sanding on the disc sander, which I can do, and I've got to do the point. Knock that out with a knockout bar, and we'll get out the disc. That's 40 grit, so I'll do the basic shaping with that. Pretty symmetrical. And from there I can go to 180 grit. A bit more light on. Oh, Oops, that's reversed, don't want that. So I find you can go quite happily from the 40 to 180 grit. Oh, that's so smooth. Just going to soften the edges. Just going to go to the bandsaw and cut out a V in the middle. So there's no mark in the middle now, there's a little bit more to come out there. Round these over. And the main idea here is that this should be wide enough that it can't easily get into an eye socket. Now the rest I hope to be able to get in with a thinner sander. So fixed in a vise, this is 80 grit. Might as well do the sides as well. $180. Oh, it's even got an eye, so maybe I should put some teeth in. It's almost another eye there. Oh. Right, so I'll try and sand down a bit more of an angle here. No, I think I'll just leave it like that.